ballroom glittered beneath thousands of crystal lights. Music floated through the air. Champagne glasses clinked. Laughter echoed across the grand hall of the Royal Crescent Hotel. It was the kind of event where powerful people gathered to be seen. Billionaires, executives, celebrities, politicians. Everyone wanted attention. Everyone wanted to impress. And yet, the most important woman in the room sat completely alone. 34-year-old Victoria Hayes adjusted the blanket covering her legs and stared quietly at the crowd. From a distance, she looked elegant. Beautiful black evening gown, diamond earrings, confident posture. But one detail changed everything. The wheelchair. People noticed it immediately, and then they looked away. Some pretended not to see her. Others offered polite smiles before moving on. A few whispered behind her back. Nobody asked her to dance. Nobody invited her to join a conversation. Nobody stayed longer than 30 seconds, because despite all the speeches about inclusion, many people still saw the wheelchair before they saw the woman. Victoria had grown used to it. 5 years earlier, a car accident had changed her life forever. The crash took away her ability to walk, but it never took away her intelligence, her ambition, or her determination. Today, she owned Hayes Technologies, one of the fastest growing companies in America. Her net worth exceeded $3 billion. Thousands of employees worked for her. Entire industries respected her. Yet tonight, none of that mattered because nobody here knew who she really was. The event organizers had listed her under a private name. No title, no company, no VIP introduction, just another guest. And the result was exactly what she expected. Invisible across the ballroom, 40-year-old Michael Clarke carried a tray of drinks between tables. Technically, he wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't a guest. He wasn't wealthy. He wasn't connected. His friend owned the catering company and needed extra help. Michael needed extra money. Simple. As a single father raising his 12-year-old daughter, Sophie, every dollar mattered. Especially after losing his wife 3 years earlier, life had become a constant balancing act. Work, bills, school, parenting, repeat. But Michael never complained because every sacrifice was for Sophie. Every late night, every extra shift, every exhausted morning for Sophie. As he moved through the crowd, he noticed something strange. Everyone seemed drawn toward the center of the room, toward fame, toward influence, toward status. But near the far window, one woman sat completely alone. Michael glanced over several times. Nobody approached her. Nobody included her. The sight bothered him. Finally, after finishing his shift, he removed his serving jacket and walked across the ballroom. Victoria noticed him approaching. She prepared herself for another awkward conversation. Another few seconds of pity, another excuse before he walked away. Instead, Michael stopped beside her and smiled. Looks like they're missing the most interesting person in the room. Victoria blinked, gestured toward the crowd. Everyone keeps talking about themselves. Then he pointed at her, the only one quietly observing everything. A small smile appeared on her face. That's your definition of interesting? Absolutely. She laughed softly. The sound surprised even her. Michael extended his hand. I'm Michael. Victoria. Nice to meet you, Victoria. The next 30 minutes, they talked. Not about money, not about status, not about business, about books, travel, movies, parenting, dreams, failures, life. For the first time that evening, Victoria forgot she was sitting in a wheelchair because Michael never treated her differently, never acted uncomfortable, never offered sympathy she didn't ask for. He simply treated her like everyone else. Actually, better than most people. As the evening continued, music filled the ballroom. Couples moved toward the dance floor. Victoria watched them silently. Michael noticed. You miss dancing? The question was gentle, not intrusive. Victoria hesitated, then nodded. Sometimes. Michael looked toward the dance floor, then back at her, and without hesitation said, would you like one? Victoria stared. A dance? Michael nodded. She almost laughed. Michael, I can't dance. That's not what I asked. A moment, neither spoke. Then Michael carefully locked the wheelchair brakes. Several nearby guests watched curiously before anyone understood what was happening. Michael gently took Victoria's hands and began moving with her, slowly, carefully, together. Not a traditional dance, but a dance nonetheless. The wheelchair became part of the movement, part of the rhythm, part of the moment. Soon, people stopped talking, stopped drinking, stopped staring at themselves, and started watching them, because something about the scene felt beautiful. A single father, a woman in a wheelchair, neither trying to impress anyone, simply enjoying a moment. Victoria couldn't stop smiling. For years, people either pitied her or admired her success. Very few simply enjoyed her company. Michael did, without effort, without calculation, without expectation. When the song ended, applause suddenly erupted. The entire ballroom was watching. Michael looked embarrassed. Victoria laughed. laughed. Then something unexpected happened. The event host rushed onto the stage, microphone in hand. "Ladies and gentlemen," the crowd became quiet. The host smiled. "I believe many of you have spent tonight wondering who our mystery guest is." Victoria's expression changed. The host continued, "Allow me to introduce the founder and billionaire owner of Hayes Technologies, Miss Victoria Hayes." Silence. Absolute silence. Faces turned pale. Champagne glasses stopped halfway to mouths. Executives who ignored her suddenly looked shocked. Several people who walked past her earlier couldn't believe what they were hearing, because the woman they dismissed, the woman they overlooked, the woman sitting alone in a wheelchair, was one of the most powerful billionaires in the country. Victoria slowly turned toward Michael, waiting for his reaction, waiting for surprise, waiting for him to treat her differently. Instead, Michael smiled. "Billionaire, huh?" Victoria laughed. "Apparently." Michael shrugged. "That's nice." She stared. "That's it? What else am I supposed to say? I'm worth $3 billion. Michael nodded, still smiling. For a second, her eyes filled with emotion, because nobody had said something that simple in a very long time. The crowd suddenly wanted her attention. Executives rushed forward. Investors appeared. Business cards emerged from everywhere. The same people who ignored her all evening. Victoria looked at them, then looked back at Michael and quietly asked, "Would you mind staying a little longer?" Michael smiled. "Sure." What neither of them realized was that this simple invitation, this one unexpected dance, would become the beginning of a story neither of them could have imagined. A story that would soon change both their lives forever.